Welcome to Dickin' Around Outdoors. Today we've got an exciting episode for you, another installment of our classic campfire cuisine. And as promised in the last one, this one's a doozy. Charcoal's getting hot. Stick around. Let me show you what we've got cooking. Today we've got another episode in our classic campfire cuisine series. Before we get started, take a second to punch the little red subscribe button in the lower right hand corner. We do appreciate that. If you recall, the classic campfire cuisine series is designed to highlight recipes that would have been popular camping when I was a Boy Scout, 1970s, 80s, before the foodie craze. One of the spectacular parts of classic campfire cuisine is that as much as possible we use shelf-stable items. That way you're not taking up all your cooler space, you're not scrambling for ice, or if you have a refrigerator, and if you do, lucky you, you can fill that up with other items that need to be refrigerated, like your can of beer. So today, we are going to make a recipe that uses an extremely healthy ingredient. We are going to make salmon loaf. So the ingredients for today's salmon loaf recipe include a mix of traditional ingredients and some new twists that liven it up, I think, and make it taste a little bit fresher. So what we've got for the salmon loaf itself, we've got lemon, powdered milk, an egg, a mix of garlic, onion, and celery seed, a can of red salmon, and a cup of breadcrumbs. We're going to mix that with some purple potatoes. We're just going to put those in with the salmon loaf to bake. And then we're going to use a little bit of a non-traditional topping for the salmon loaf that I think spruces it up and makes it taste lively and fresh. That's going to include capers, olive oil, parsley, and garlic. And we're going to cook it all today in our woody Dutch oven. Before we get started, I wanted to give you a quick primer on canned salmon and canned fish in general. If you didn't grow up eating it, you may not know what to expect when you open a can of canned salmon. So first off, there are two kinds primarily that you'll find in stores in the U.S. Red salmon, which is the same as sockeye, or pink salmon. We prefer the red salmon. It has a more robust salmon flavor. But if you prefer a milder salmon, go for the pink. The other thing you need to consider is traditional canned salmon and canned fish in general is packed with skin and some bones. Now, everything in the can is edible, nothing that you need to pick out of it. If that sounds like something you don't want, then look for skinless, boneless canned salmon. I think that's primarily pink salmon, and I know the Costco Kirkland brand pink salmon, as well as the Vital Choice, I think is the name. Both of those guys make skinless, boneless salmon. So if you're looking for that, just make sure you seek out the right one. To give you an idea, here's what the traditional can of salmon looks like. As you can see, there are little flecks of skin and some very soft bones. But I just wanted to make you aware of that so you didn't try this recipe, open your can of salmon and go, what is he talking about? Blech. All right, we've added the breadcrumbs to the salmon. We're going to add the egg. The garlic, salt, onion, and celery seed. And we're going to give it a little squeeze of lemon. Now, traditionally, I haven't seen this in recipes, but I just think it gives it a little fresher flavor. Then we're going to mix all that up. If it looks like it's a little dry, we did make up some powdered milk. We'll add that to it. We don't want it too wet because we want it to form together like a loaf. I've got the salmon mixed. We put it into a loaf. We ended up not using the milk. There was plenty of liquid in the can, plus the lemon juice. I have topped it with lemon slices. We've also split the larger potatoes, mixed those with olive oil, put a little salt and pepper on. So let's get this thing on the coals. Salmon loaf and potatoes are in. We've loaded the woody. We're guessing this is going to be about 350, 375. If you've watched my other videos, you know that, in my opinion, cooking in a Dutch oven is as much art as science. And the temperature inside is going to depend on your coal count for sure, but it's also going to depend on what coal you're using. Are you using firewood? Are you using Kingsford? Are you using lump charcoal? So we're thinking this is around 350, 375. It goes for an hour, so we're going to go ahead and start another charcoal chimney in about 15 minutes to make sure that we have a good head of coal going into the finish line. Now, traditionally, when you're doing salmon loaf or salmon patties, which is effectively the same recipe, but you shallow fry it. Easier to do that at home than it is at camp because I don't want to have to dispose of a bunch of fry oil. But the traditional sauce that goes on this is a bit heavy, really good, but it's a bit heavy. And it combines dillweed, mayonnaise, sour cream, a lot of stuff that really doesn't fit the classic Campfire Cuisine mold. And also, as I said, is a bit heavy. It can make the dish taste a little one-sided. So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to make a sauce that's a combination of parsley, lemon juice, capers, olive oil, and 1 head of garlic. And that's just going to spruce it up a little bit, give it a fresher taste, a little bit of a twist on it, which I like when we're camping. And everything here is shelf stable. You know, the parsley you're not going to have for a week, but if you needed to substitute parsley flakes, go ahead. But if you're going to make this the first couple days, the parsley's fine. So that's what we're going to do. I think it enhances the dish, and it's just mixed up in a bowl and sprinkled on top. All right, we're 30 minutes in. We're going to go ahead and change the coals. These are burned down pretty well. One thing I want to mention too, whenever you're Dutch oven cooking, make sure you have a place and a way to manage your coals, both while you're cooking and when you're done cooking. We don't want to start a fire. So I've got an old Dutch oven there that I use to do that. So we're just going to go ahead, refresh the coals, and we're going to let this go for another 30 minutes and then check it. In earlier videos, you've heard me say that when we go camping, we adhere to the philosophies of tread lightly and leave no trace. I'm going to link those two organizations down below. This is the trash that we've picked up from one campsite at a state park. No matter if you're new to camping or you've been camping all your life, it's unacceptable to leave this kind of trash for the next person. This is public land. It doesn't mean that it's somebody else's to take care of. It means that we all own it, and we're all responsible to take care of it. So please, if you bring it, take it out. Leave it better than you found it. We've gone a little bit longer than we anticipated. We're at 1 hour and 15 minutes. Just really wanted to make sure those potatoes got done. So let's see how we did. Oh, that looks really good. Oh, we are done. So let's go ahead, get this off the fire. Get our plates over here because I am hungry. And here you go. We have a beautiful salmon loaf, lovely potatoes to go with it. We've matched it with a cucumber salad. All these recipes I'll post below. We've made this nice fresh topping for the salmon loaf. Again, traditionally it's a mayonnaise, sour cream, dill. We thought that was a bit too heavy, so we freshened it up. I hope you try this recipe. I really want to hear if you like it or not. I'll recommend that Rubenstien's red salmon. It's really a good salmon. Again, if you don't like bones and skin, look for boneless and skinless. As always, we really appreciate you watching. We hope you enjoyed it. We hope you learned a new recipe that's going to become one of your favorites. We appreciate all the support from our subscribers. We look forward to seeing you next time. Take care. I'm going to dig in. So good.